Hello, welcome back. GovDoc Breakdown, where we don't tell you what to think. We just give you the facts of the day and let you do what you will. I hope everybody had a good weekend, so let's dive back in. April 19th, we have a Supreme Court decision. Let's go! A.A.R.P versus Trump. So this is not the regular A.A.R.P where you get the flyer in the mail at 45 and you sign up and, this is like a legal group that decided to bring this case. So what happened? What happened in this case? So it was centered around a group of non-citizens that were either detained or facing possible deportation in relation to a March proclamation by the president invoking the Alien Enemies Act. And you can actually look for those videos. First time we've been able to do this. Look for those videos in the playlist and our presidential memorandums and bills, laws, and act. You'll see a breakdown of the Alien Enemies Act and that proclamation we're referring to here. But basically, Tren de Aragua was established as a terrorist organization that is invading the country. And under that precipice, there was the invocation of the Alien Enemies Act that said the president could deport them. So A.A.R.P filed a habeas corpus petition, which is just a fancy Latin way of saying that a person can challenge the legality of their detention or imprisonment before the court. So they filed these habeas corpus petitions to challenge the detentions and ask the courts to stop the deportations. The Supreme Court issued an emergency order a little after midnight on April 18th going into April 19th. Blocking the government from deporting the group until the case could be properly heard. And this is a little interesting. I like to give you guys how the Supreme Court case, judges voted. But this is what's called a shadow docket case, where they don't tell you who voted which way. It's very interesting, very interesting. So now to the controversy that you're inevitably going to be hearing today and in the future. So the Supreme Court used the All Writs Act as the legal basis for this emergency block. As Justice Alito stated in the dissent of this case, there are some legality questions to say the least on this one. So in terms of the All Writs Act, it's a flexible tool that allows federal courts to issue orders necessary to protect their authority and ensure justice is carried out only within the bounds of their existing jurisdiction. Remember that. This is the core of the controversy here. So the Supreme Court acted very fast, only 8 hours after receiving the emergency request, and they did so in the middle of the night, which is pretty wild. It's just like, oh, let's get it done. And the lower court that was hearing this case hadn't even finished considering the case, so whether this case was even in the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is under question. Also, this doesn't have anything to do with the All Writs Act, but the Supreme Court also made this decision without hearing any arguments from the government side, which was also interesting. Kind of the last little wrap-up point here, Alito, the justice that wrote the dissent, so we do know how Justice Alito voted, most likely no. He also pointed out that the class of people this would protect was ambiguous, as it had not yet been defined by the lower court. And he pointed out that there was no immediate threat, as there were no deportations scheduled on the 18th or the 19th. So, yeah, a very interesting case, and probably not the last time you guys are going to hear about this one. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.